Hello, my name is Brian Wood. I'm a web developer and a trainer, and I want to show you guys the Advanced CSS Animator from DMXzone, using it with Dreamweaver, and just show you an example of what we can do with this thing. Now, I've got a website open here that I'm working on. I'm currently starting a site for a bistro in San Diego. You can see it's a pretty simple site, but what I wanted to do was showcase some of the things that they have going on since it's a grand opening. Now, using the Advanced CSS Animator, I can go over and create a lot of different types of content out here, showing, hiding, you guys can see sliding, translating, etc. Lots of different things we can do. So let's get started with this. I'm really excited about it. So let me get over to Dreamweaver. And I've got the start page right here. Now, the way we use this is once you guys install the Advanced CSS Animator, it is part of the behaviors panel. So we can add it that way. Now, I've got a simple div set up out here. You guys can see I've got an absolutely positioned div out here. And I've got a list set up. This is a really simple ULLI list. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to create a couple other divs out here for the main content. That's the content with the big picture and the text that's going to show up. So let me do that. So I'll stick my cursor right here. I'm going to go over to the right to the insert panel, and I'll click insert div tag. It's going to ask me to insert a div at my insertion point. Now, I've created some styles ahead of time, you guys, so we don't have to go through that. But I'm going to go through and create, and I've got a lot. I mean, I admit, this is a site I'm creating, so I've got a lot of things going on. I'm going to create or use the style called table info here, and I'll click OK. And you guys are going to see it's out there. Now, the thing is that the table info styling, let me show you guys this on split. You can see I've got it out there, table info. And I go up to my styles over here. I can also use the CSS styles panel over there. It's actually set to display none. So what I'm going to do is right now just turn that off. I could also use the AP Elements panel over there to do this. Look at design. You guys can see there it is right there. Now what I'd like to do is I'd like to just insert a picture and some text and things like that. So let me delete this text and I'll insert a picture here. And this will get us our content. So I'll be able to put some things out here. So let me look at a list. And I'll grab the, let's see, table setting. There's the big picture right there. Cool. Click OK. I'll just say table, whatever. All right, there's our picture. Now, I'm going to put some text after that. I'll just say something like placeholder. We can put, anything we want in here. We can put other links. I've even had video in these types of things. So placeholder text. There we go. Now, I'm going to make sure there's no paragraph on this simply because it's pushing it in. You guys can see. So I'm going to remove that. Remove the tag. And there we go. Now, if I go take a look at this in the browser, let me preview it in IE or whatever, Firefox. It doesn't matter. I'll have it out there. And this will allow me to get started with this. So now, once we start this thing, let me try it again. And there we go. Okay. Once we start this thing, what we're going to do is we're going to actually set it up so that we also have another div over here with a little picture that can slide out for us. There's tons of stuff we can do with this, you guys. So let me go back. Now, I've got this div set right here. I'm going to insert another div. I'm going to put it right before the actual, this one right here. I'm going to put it right before the legend div. So I'm going to make sure I got my legend there. I'm going to go to my split code view. You got the legend there. I'm going to put it in the container. I'm just going to stick, just to makes it a little easier here. Put my cursor there. I'll insert another div tag. Now I've got another style created for this, and I've already got it done. So it's called vases. I'll use that. I'll click OK. Now it's going to put some content out here. Let me just do this, you guys. I'm going to get rid of this and just put a little, space in there for myself. Look at the design view over here, and you guys will see it's hidden under here. But if I go to the AP Elements panel on the right over here, and take a look, we should have some AP elements over there. It's not showing up quite yet. That's fine. But they are there. So there is an image right there. Now, if I take this one, let me move it out of the way. You guys can see there it is. I've actually got a little background image put in there. Really simple. Let me get that back where it was. Now we're going to start to do some animation here. Get some things going. So what I'm going to do is put my cursor in this list. Come down towards the bottom. I'm going to do it to the LI. We can try different things here, but I'm going to do it to the list item. So I'll click on that. Come over to the right to the tag inspector and look at my behaviors. And what we're going to do is we're going to add a series of behaviors here using DMXzone Advanced CSS Animator. It should open up the interface. Now we're going to basically animate three things out here. We could do a ton of things, but we're going to get a little trickier here. So I'm going to animate this object. We're going to animate that little vases div I just put out there. And we're going to animate or change the appearance of this one right here. So we're going to say for this object, the animation applies to this. What I want to do is change things like the background color, things like that. So I'll come to colors here. Now, you guys, if you want to change something like the background color or the border color or something like that, you want to make sure you have it on there already in the initial styling for that object. So I'll come to, let's say, background color here. I'll add this. I'm going to let it auto-detect, which means figure out what it is in the beginning. And then I'm going to come in here and I can insert a value if I want to, or I can choose it from a list. I'll just do that. Duration, how long do I want it to happen here? I'm going to go a little smaller, a little shorter here, 500. And I'll leave the easing set where it is. Now, we can go out here. I'm going to do a couple other things here. I'm going to change the border, let's say on the right. So I'll go to the box category. I'll say border right width. I'll add that. I just want to change it to 30 pixels. And you guys can change your units there. We can also, you guys will see in just a little bit here, I can change this value as well to plus, minus, that sort of thing. It's a relative width or height. Now, the last thing I want to do here is the border color. So I'll switch back down. I could have done it all at once. I'll come over here and add border color. And I just want to add it. I can type it in here if I want to. So I'll type in FF3933. There we go. And there it is. There's my color. Okay, so I will click OK. Now, I'm going to do one of these, you guys, just to show you this. Now, of course, it's going to use some files to get this done. And what's really cool about the Advanced CSS Animator is it lets you upload that stuff now if you want to your FTP server. And I don't want to do that, so I'll click Close. Just got to remember we got to upload this stuff. And I'll try it out here. So let me go out to Firefox or IE. It doesn't matter. Whatever browser you guys happen to have. I'll hover over, take a look, and make sure. Now, the thing you guys got to remember, you notice it's not happening. Let me close this up. You got to remember to change the event when it happens. So if I come over here, and this is a Dreamweaver thing. So I come to on focus here. I'm going to say, you know what, on mouse enter, let's say. It'll happen. So I'll save it, go take a look at it. Preview in Firefox or whatever. Hover over, and there we go. Check that out. Now, I want to make it so when I leave, it does the same thing. Okay, so let me go back. I've got it selected still. We're going to do another behavior here. And you guys, we can actually copy paste these in the code, but I'm just going to get this done over here. So go to DMXzone Advanced CSS Animator. And I'm just going to show you a few of these here. We're going to say I want the same kinds of things. I want the border right width. We're going to actually set it back to 1. So I'm just going to kind of get through these. I want to do the color, that sort of thing. So let me get the colors here. I'll do the background color. I'll set it back to white, let's say. So we're just saying auto detect from where you were, set it back. And then the border color itself, I'll set that back to white as well. So we're just kind of resetting everything on this object. So I'll click OK. It says on focus. We need to change that to trigger. So I'll say on mouse leave. Let's say I'll save that out. Go take a look at it in Firefox. There we go. Now hover, come away. There we go. You guys can see there's tons of stuff we can do out here with this. So what I want to do now is I want to go in and start to add a couple other features here. We're going to get that little box to show up as well. So we've got that little div we set out there, the vases div. I want to affect that too. So if we come over to the behaviors over here, if I click on the plus, we're going to say DMXzone Advanced CSS Animator. I'll click on that. Now we're going to affect that vases div that I created. So what we do is we typically come up to animation applies to, and we pick the actual selector that we want to change. So I'll go to vases, and I'm going to do a couple different things here. Actually, we'll just do one to get this done. So you guys will see we have CSS transformations we can do, which are really cool, like rotate, things like that. I'm going to do what's called translate X. This is pretty cool. You can actually change the X position of the object. Now it says translate X, auto detect. I'm going to say from something to something. Now if I come out here, I'm going to say to, let's say 40. And you guys take a look. As soon as I hit enter, return, come down here, or tab even,